Hello, everyone. This is Randy from CT Sped Math Dude. I am going to present in this video how to make number lines, specialty number lines on Word documents that you can use for handouts. Let's take a look. Here's a setting from a handout that I created for Elapsed Time. And the idea here is that you could model the student walking as time was passing, and you could actually visualize the elapsed time. But the key part right here is this table that I inserted. I want to show you how I did that. Well, here's another example. Let's say you want to use a number line for money. So let's say a student has a $10 gift card, and then they're going to buy an item that's $3 or less. So it's $3. So what would happen then is if you're going to buy this one item, now your gift card drops $1, $2, $3. But let's say you copy and paste that. And you can do this on a Jamboard, just copy and paste these into a Jamboard. So let's say you buy another $3 item, you go down 1, 2, 3. And so here we have the same number line, but used for different applications. So let me show you how I go about doing this. This is one way. Obviously, someone's a lot smarter than me, and there's a lot of people like that, could do a much better job. So let's take a look. So I open a Word document. I'm going to Home Setting here, and then do Layout. And I'm going to change the orientation to landscape to give me more width. And then I'm going to go into Insert Table, and I'm going to go Insert Table and choose 20 columns. And I'm going to do 2 rows, and I'll show you why in a second. So I hit OK, and here we go. So now that middle line in here is going to be the actual number line. And these little spikes, little tick marks going up will be the tick marks. So let me zoom in a little bit here and show you what I'm doing. So now what I want is I want more boxes in the bottom. And I'm going to show you why in a second. So then you go up to Layout and you do Split Cells. And remember, I created 20 boxes on the 20 columns. Well, the bottom one, I'm going to do 40. I'm going to double it. Now look what happened. It split all the boxes in the bottom. And now what I'm going to do is this guy right here is my tick mark. So I am going to pull these 2 cells below it together. I'm going to highlight them. I'm going to click and hold and drag over, right click, merge cells. Now what's going to happen in the future is I'm going to type in, maybe that is 7 o'clock, and see how that number has a little line above it. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to merge each pair of boxes at the bottom. So I'm going to hit pause while I do the rest of this. So now you can see I have a box right below each tick mark here. And so I can populate that with the times. Now, in the example above, what I did was I said, well, my times are going to be every 10 minutes. So I just went by tens. If you're doing quarter minutes, you can go by 15 minutes, half hours, etc. So you'll pick the units that you want and how much skipping you want. So mine is going to be time. If it was the integers, obviously you can add the dollars and the negatives if it was integers for money. So then you populate this at the bottom the way you like. But I'm going to show you the next part, and that is how do we create the tick marks? Well, the idea of up here on the tick marks is I only want the line in the middle. So I'm going to highlight that whole row. I'm going to right click and I get table properties. I click on that and I want borders and shading down here. Click on that. And now all I want are the middle tick marks, which are these right here. So I'm going to get rid of the left side and the right side and watch what happens. Looky here. There's no mark. There's nothing on the left side for this cell, and there's nothing on the right side for that cell. But I want to get rid of that top. So I'm going to highlight again the whole thing, the whole top row, right click, table properties, borders and shading, and I'm going to get rid of the top. And look what happens. Now I have my tick marks. Now I don't like these things to be protruding so much, so I'm going to move my cursor until I see parallel lines with arrows telling me that I can pull up or down. I'm going to pull up my bottom row. Oops, you know what I have to do? I need to highlight again. I need to change the font. I'm going to go right click and I'm going to change my font to a small number. And I'm going to double click on the number in the box here and change it to 6. That's a nice small number. I hit enter. And looky there, the tick marks are much smaller. So you can play around with that. But now I don't want all these boxes in the bottom. I want them to disappear because I only want the number line. So I'm going to highlight those and do the same thing we just did. I'm going to highlight those, right click, table properties, borders and shading. And now I don't want the bottom lines and I don't want the lines on the sides. I only want the top, because that's the actual number line. Looky there. Now, if you scroll over it, you see the little plus sign looking thing here. If you click on it, it'll actually show you the whole table again. So the table is there. We just made the lines disappear. So now I can start typing in the different numbers. I can click on each box and I can click. Let's say I want to go by 15 minutes. So I'll go 7:15 this time. And then you can hit tab. That makes it a little easier. And go 7:30. And now the other thing you want is to make sure it's all centered. So you can highlight the whole thing again, the whole row, right click. And then you can go to layout at the top and choose to center a line in the center. And that's more important when you have smaller numbers. And there you go. And then you can just click that, copy and paste it. If you want to, again, if after you've populated the cells, you can create multiple number lines. And then if you're doing, let's say you're doing integers that are more on the negative side, you could shift it over and make it -20 on one side and +5 on the other side. So you can you can absolutely create your own. And that's how I created these. And that's how you use Word to create number lines that you want for whatever work that you're doing. So it takes a little practice. It can be a little frustrating, but hopefully that will work for you. But anyway, that's when you look at the scaffolded handouts I create, that's basically the process that I use. And I've learned it through trial and error. All right, good luck to you.